Welcome to All Change, the programme that puts design at the heart of the learning experience. Today we're at Castlevale Secondary School in the West Midlands, where we'll be transforming a music room, providing a space for the delivery of a modern curriculum and for student performances. The music room at Castlevale has the latest technology for composing and performing. So while the curriculum is bang up to date, the room itself needs to be brought into the 21st century. Over a single weekend, we're going to be working with the school community to create a vibrant, stimulating and creative space which reflects the school's arts college status.
The challenge is to make the music room more user-friendly. All along one side of the room are the music keyboards and the computers used to help with composition. But there's not enough space on the benches for them to be used appropriately. And there's no performance area. And also in today's programme, the newly built school in Essex that was shaped from scratch by its new head teacher. Its new teaching team were given a say in how things looked. And a radical design for a new school built on a rig principle, with sky gardens and social spaces. And some purchasing ideas for some exciting products to help with geography classes.
The key to this week's design is trying to make this music room more responsive to what's going on in the space. We've had a chat with Ellen, who's the music teacher there, and we've decided that it can be divided into three distinct spaces. You've got the area for composition, the area for listening, and the area for performance. And at the moment, the space here doesn't really respond to any of those. We've got computers and keyboards down this side of the room. We've got a whiteboard at the front, and then a sort of a no man's land in between. So what we really need to try and do is to link these things together and create a space that works and encourages all of these things to happen. So the first decision we took was to create a second plane above the working desk here, so that the computer monitors could be moved off the table and allow space for the keyboards. So that becomes a more functional area, far more room to move, more space. The other thing that we've done is to take that as an ordering element, give it a quite vivid colour, which creates some focus in the room. And then terminate that with some artwork which is inspired by music. And what we'd like is for the pupils to get involved in that. On the other wall, where at the moment it's just the whiteboard in that space, what we're going to do is to hang some guitars on there, so that we're looking at the form of the guitar. It's almost decoration, almost like a piece of art really. And in front of that is the stage. Now we could have knocked up a stage out of MDF and some kind of softwood frame, but we didn't think that would be good enough. The idea is to give the pupils some kind of feeling that they're special. There's a performance going on. So we've got something off the shelf which is going to provide a very efficient, very effective platform for the performance to go on. The space in between is a bit more loose-fitting. So what we've designed is some benches which can be arranged so that they address the space at the front, and also could be arranged, say, in a circle, which tie in with our ordering element. They're the same colour, very simple box design, but they can be moved around and rearranged so that flexibility can be provided easily. So hopefully what we're delivering this week is a modern space for the modern music curriculum, a space for composition, listening and performance, and really somewhere where pupils can get together and enjoy music.
It's amazing how quickly a cluttered room can be cleared when there's plenty of staff and parents on hand to get stuck in. All the computers, keyboards and musical instruments had to be put away, and the walls had to be cleared of their existing displays before project manager John Craig could start the construction work.
John, this is a really nice big music room. What are you going to do with it?
Well, Marco's idea is, rather than having a standard classroom, is to turn it into a mini auditorium. As you can see here, we have a stage area, so there's no normal sort of desks and chairs and things. All this wall is going to be a sort of very deep blue, to give some depth to behind the stage.
It'll also make it the focus of the room as well, won't it?
Very much so. Everything pulls down to here. So we have a stage in the front. I've got some seats, as you can see here, to make. So obviously that's where everybody will be watching the performance. These cupboard units here, very good stories. We're doing absolutely nothing with those at all. There's no need to. But on this wall over here, the students are going to do their own musical modern graffiti. Something that I can't wait to see. I haven't got a clue what they're going to do, but they're going to sort of spray paint everything. That's their contribution to the room. The other thing as well is we have computers linked in with keyboards. A modern musical room this is. And of course at the moment there's not enough space on all this desk area here, so we're going to raise all that area, put the monitors on those, put the keyboards underneath, just to make more use of the space basically. And that really is it. It will be a modern musical classroom.
And will you be giving us a song at any point in this music room?
I thought that was your job.
No, I don't think so.
The boards for the graffiti artwork needed priming before the spray cans could get to work. Head of Music Ellie Rudge advised John on the deep dark blue walls.
You'll be done in no time.
Castle Vale School has the simple yet demanding goal of achieving excellence together. A specialist performing arts college, it wants the new music room to reflect a 21st century curriculum.
Music's really important to the school, with it being a performing arts college. And what I'm trying to create really within music lessons is a whole practical performing environment where young people can come in and feel that they can perform and share their talents and their skills with other young people.
And you've got some really talented students here, haven't
We
you?
have got the most amazingly talented young people here. We are very, very fortunate.
And your room, as it was before we started work this weekend, was really constraining the way that you're able to teach the curriculum.
Yeah, there wasn't enough emphasis really on performing, despite the fact that I did get rid of the tables out in the classrooms in order to create a very practical environment. But it still wasn't enough. And I just thought having a raised area would really rectify that.
And the work that we're doing on your room this weekend, how's that going to change the way in which you're able to deliver teaching and learning here?
Well, you've just helped us out very, very much, really, because what it will actually do is create a really positive environment towards music lessons. But more than that, it'll create an environment where young people will come in and think, wow, this is where we want to be. We want to perform in here because it's a really funky environment now, rather than being very clinical.
While John Craig starts constructing the risers for the computer monitors, the rest of the team get painting and decorating. Bold, bright colours.
Sarah, you're working hard there. How's it going?
Yeah, really well. Not too bad at all. Yeah.
What do you think of the designs for this room?
I think it's brilliant. They're going to look fantastic when they're done. Yeah, really, really good.
And this is a nice big space, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's lovely. Plenty of space to move about and that, yeah.
And you want to really be able to do that, take some
Yeah,
of it?
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
need lots and lots of space to be able to teach practical subjects. So, yeah, it's good.
Well, there's lots to do. I better let you get back to it.
Okay, thank you.
The students were determined to claim ownership of their new music room, and the spray-painted graffiti panels were their way of making sure this happened. Each board had its own musical theme.
Elle, this is really going to brighten up the room. What's this for?
This is for the benches, for the informal seating area, which is going to really, really be excellent. Now we've got this really bright environment, it'll be fantastic to actually put performances on in here.
And what sort of performances are you going to be doing?
Oh, singing, there'll be playing guitars, drums, there'll be bands, that sort of stuff going on.
Oh, fantastic. As some of our towns expand, there's a real need to provide new schools to match their growing populations. A new school is a great opportunity for a head teacher to create a building which reflects their vision for how teaching and learning can be delivered. Chancellor Park School in Essex was built to cater for the growing population of Chelmsford, and is a great example of how head teachers can personalise their buildings. Chancellor Park was built on a greenfield site on the edge of Chelmsford. It's a 210-place school built to cater for the new housing in the area. 7 south-facing classrooms form a gentle arc at the rear, and the interior is built around a high central atrium.
This is where I used to stand when I first came down to the site, and it's where the ethos of the school started. without a doubt, when I sort of stood here, it was where I started to create the feeling of what I wanted for the school, and it's to some extent where all the ideas came for the school. I used to think that can go here, that can go there, but it's certainly standing in this library used to give me a huge buzz, even when they were still scaffolds and cement mixers everywhere, and I still get that buzz nowadays.
Lally Godfrey had significant input into the design of the classrooms and decided to give each new teacher a say in their own teaching and learning spaces.
Each teacher I was appointing had obviously got their own identities and their own personalities, so I gave them a certain amount of money for themselves, and they had complete free rein on what they wanted to spend it on to make the class theirs. And you'll notice that in one particular classroom there is sort of a screen coming down with traffic lights, and in another classroom they've spent money on a target board for targets for children, various different things. Another one's gone very over with Winnie the Pooh because it suits the younger end of the school. So different things for different teachers.
One of the staff is an NQT who did her teaching practice nearby.
I remember coming in, I remember it being built and sort of seeing it in breeze blocks, and I went back to uni to do a bit more studying, and then once I qualified I came back and saw it sort of still a bit building work but coming on, and then I came back and came in and gradually the carpets went down and it was lovely, and then I walked into this room and thinking, right, it's mine now to do whatever I want with. So the next 2 weeks before September started I was sort of in here most days decorating it, cutting, trimming and things like that. So no, it's lovely. I'd be sad to leave it if I have to move classrooms. I think I feel quite attached to this one in particular. So.
With Chancellor Park being built from the ground up, it was a golden opportunity for the incoming head to shape her own philosophy for teaching and learning at the school.
I had a beautiful opportunity, really, to try and create the school that I believed should exist, and that was one where the children were at the heart of everything we did, and that actually is our mission statement. And from that point of view, as a parent myself, I wanted children here to feel totally safe, totally secure, and to feel to some extent that it was an extension of home. It wasn't somewhere that was different to be frightening or whatever else. So we've worked very hard at making the children feel a part of everything, to feel part of the decision-making process. A hug doesn't hurt. A hug gives an awful lot for a child, and it makes them feel valued, it makes them feel safe.
Castle Vale School was built in 1969 on the Castle Bromwich airfield where Spitfires used to be built and based during the Second World War. There have been a lot of improvements to the housing nearby, but the school itself has been largely untouched.
I think often people underestimate the way the environment actually impacts on children's self-esteem and what they think about themselves. So we're going to put a lot of money and a lot of resources into making our environment and our classrooms exciting and give them a real quality feel.
And that links very much to the music room that we're working on this weekend. How do you think that's going to make a difference?
We've got the music technology in there, we've done some work on the curriculum, but they could do with sprucing up and making more exciting. And I know the children will be really, really excited to see the raised performing area and some of the graffiti art and the things that are going to brighten and enliven that room.
And do you think you'll be able to carry the changes through to the rest of the school?
That would certainly be our aim. We want every learning space in our school to be a really exciting area that motivates, so the children can't wait to get in there. So I think it'll be a real impetus for change within the school.
There's a fair amount of impetus in the music room as a group of students pitched up to help with the painting of the benches for the performance area.
Now, as in most rooms, and especially classroom, storage is always going to be a problem. We have a big problem here where we're trying to put a computer monitor, a computer itself, a keyboard, a musical keyboard, all on one particular shelf. Quite simply, and it's not rocket science, it's actually very, very cheap, some MDF boards, as you can see here. We have a line there. They'll go back against the window. Then we can put the computer monitor on there, and also the main frame of it. Then the keyboards can all go underneath, and the problem is solved.
Whilst a lot of the school buildings may look a little tired, staff and senior management at Castle Vale have been very active in working to improve the school's interior spaces, from corridors to computer rooms.